Right, let me move you guys, your faces around for a second. So here I'm looking at, this is the file that's just called Blythe in Burke full. This is the one that's sitting on Moodle waiting for you guys. And what I've done for you is I have imported the ground plan of our theater. So everything that you see hashed in architectural hashing here are the walls of the theater, of course, right? Yeah, I'll get to you in just a second, Matt. And I've also put all the lighting positions. So all these bars with the name here in a block are all the lighting positions of our theater. In purple are the circuits. And if you zoom in those to about 200%, you can read the circuits. I've also given you the circuits in a writing chart, a written chart as well. Great, I'll stop there for a second. Matt, you had a question? And then Christina, I think, has a question. You're muted, Matt. There you go.
There we go. Is this a 1/4 inch ground plan?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No,
okay.
No, I mean, you're not working in any sort of scale at the moment. Yeah. If we were going to print this out to be used like in a hang and focus, we'd want it to be in scale. But that doesn't really matter right now. It's a good question, but it doesn't really matter right now.
So when we're doing our circles, we should just estimate then?
Yeah, I think so. And I'll show you that in just a minute. That's a good question.
Thank you.
Christina, you have a question? You have your hand up. Go ahead.
It was about the other thing, but I think I got it now.
Okay.
But my microphone wasn't working at the moment, but I got it.
Okay. Remember, if you still walk out of today and you have questions, you can always one-on-one Zoom with me, email me, call me, whatever, and I can answer your questions. So click your hand down. Joy, what you want?
What did you say that this one was called? Because I was trying to find it and I couldn't, and I wasn't sure.
What do you mean? What one? This software?
Yeah, this. No, I have the software. Where is the
file?
The file, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let me go. So I'm going to go to Moodle, right? And if you go down here to, this is your final project. This is the paper project. If you click open this file, which is paper project resources, see this guy sitting right here, Blythe in Burke, full LXX plot. So that means LXBeams plot. So what you do is you're going to need to download this file onto your computer. And then when you're in LXBeams, if you click file right here and click open, you'll just direct yourself to that file. So let's say you save it on your desktop. Just click on your desktop and open up that file through LXBeams.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't going down further enough.
Yeah, cool. So this is what you get. I basically formatted the whole plot for you guys, so you guys didn't have to worry about that. You have the theater architecture, you have all the lighting positions, you have the lighting positions notated and the circuits notated. Then, of course, you have your ground plan underlaid here for Blythe Spirit. This is also the ground plan that's in the very back of the script itself. So we're just using the one that's suggested by the playwright, right? So you basically have your lighting plot template created for you. And if you notice over here on the right of LXBeams, you basically have two sets of controls. So you have a set of controls over here on the left that allow you to add something to this plot. And then you have a set of controls over here on the right that help you determine what you're actually adding. So like over here, if I click on this icon, this is the layers of my drawing. And I've made several layers for you. You have the light plot layer, you have the ground plan layer, you have the lighting positions layer, and I've created layers for you where you can actually show me your lighting areas and your different sections of your magic sheet. So what I mean by layers is if I want the ground plan to go off, I can click this button right here and click off, and the ground plan just goes away. I turn the ground plan on, she's back. If I don't want to see the light plot, I can turn the light plot layer off and it goes away, right? If I want the lighting positions to go away, I can turn them off and they go away, right? So mostly we're going to leave that stuff on for now. So all of it is back on. And you see this dot here? This shows you which layer you're actively working on. So if I wanted to make changes to the ground plan, I would click that on. Now I'm actually working. I can go in here and manipulate the ground plan layer. If the ground plan layer is not turned on, then I can't manipulate it. You don't want to manipulate the ground plan. It's already set for you. You don't want to make any changes to that, okay? You want to make changes to the light plot. So when you're working on your light plot, you want to make sure that that layer, I don't want to rename it, you want to make sure that that layer is selected so that any changes you make are being made to the light plot. Does that make sense? Right? You want this guy turned on so you can see it. If you want to dim it, you can. It doesn't dim a whole lot, but it dims a little bit. But definitely you want to let that stay on. The lighting positions, you want them to be, see this button right here? It says what is selectable. You want the lighting positions to be selectable because when you hang a light, it tells the light where it's hanging. If this is turned off, it thinks that you're just hanging a light out in empty space. If you've made this selectable, then as soon as you hang a light, it knows that you've hung a light on the 4th electric, and it actually automatically generates the paperwork for you, which you want. Because if you do this plot correctly, by the time it's done, your instrument schedule and your channel hookup is already finished. Because this program does it for you automatically. It auto-generates paperwork, all right? I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna shrink this file because I've already been playing with one that I can show you. This is identical to what you have, except for I've already dropped in some lights. So I've hung a light, a couple of lights here on the 2nd FOH, and I've hung a light here on the anti-pro, and I've hung a light back here on the 3rd electric, right? So if I go back up here and I look at my layers, right? Still the same layers are there. I'm working on my light plot layer, so it's turned on. I want to see all the layers, so the visibility of the layers are turned on, except for I don't want to see my magic sheets right now. So I'm going to turn off all my magic sheets, and I don't want to see my lighting areas right now, so they're turned off. I want my lighting positions to be selectable, because again, that's how it knows that I'm actually hanging a light on that position, right? Any questions about that before we move on? Great. So let's hang a light. So I want to hang a light. So I'm going to go over here to this toolbar. This toolbar, the cursor lets me grab and move things, right? So if you just want to grab or select something, you want to grab the arrow cursor. This one actually lets me hang a light, which is what we're going to do in a second. This lets me draw shapes. Like, for instance, when you're drawing your lighting areas, you're going to want to use the oval tool. This lets me create a new lighting position. You don't need that. I've already done all that for you. This lets you draw a line. You don't need that. You don't need to draw any lines to anything anymore. This guy lets you draw a freehand line or a curve. You don't need to draw anything else. You've already drawn everything except for your lighting areas. And then this is your text tool. You're going to want to use the text tool when you create your magic sheets and when you create your lighting areas, but we'll go over that in a bit. So let's see, for right now, I want to hang a light. Notice this guy here shows me which active layer I'm working on. So anytime I hang a light, I want to make sure that I'm on the light plot layer. Views is about what you're seeing down here. So like, for instance, if I want to zoom out, I can zoom out. It's a little hard to work for it, like a little hard for it to work like that with it zoomed out that far away. If I want to zoom in close, I can go to up to 200%. and I'm getting really, really close. So here is where I'm seeing circuit numbers, and I can pan around the plot like that, right? If I go back to zoom here and I go back to actual size, I'm not quite seeing the whole thing, right? If I go back here to view, zoom, and go to about 75, 75 is a good basic view of the entire theater. So what I did was I saved that view. And under here, under views, if you click that and you click save view, you can save that view. So instead of zooming around back and forth the whole time, you can just click view, and I called it full plot. So if I ever want to, if I've zoomed in, let's say I've zoomed into something and I don't want to be that close anymore, I can either zoom in and out manually, or I can just click on that saved view, full plot, and it'll go right back to seeing the full plot because I saved that as a view. Great. So now let's hang a light. So in order to hang a light, I want to make sure again that I'm working on my light plot layer. I'm going to click on this tool over here to hang a light, right? And now I want to go back over here so I can find out what kind of light I want to hang. So now I want to determine the specifics of the light that I'm going to hang. So I click on this over here, and it gives me a long, long list of all kinds of lights and symbols. This is a really, really long list. These are symbols for all kinds of manufacturers and all kinds of lights. You have moving lights and intelligent lights down here. You have some heavy duty movers and intelligent lights down here. You have some old school scoops. These are basic ellipsoidals, source 4 ellipsoidals. All right. Here's some Altman old ellipsoidals, which is another manufacturer. So you have all kinds of stuff in here. If you don't know which one you want and don't know what the symbol looks like, you can click on list. It then gives you the actual names of those, like a 36-degree source 4, a 19-degree source 4. Down here, there's some Fresnels, there's baby zooms. Down here's a 6-inch Altman Fresnel. So basically, I can choose the kind of light that I want to hang from a long, long list. So let's say I want to hang a 19-degree source 4. If I go back here to palette, actually, I thought it selected it for me, but I don't think it does. It doesn't. But I can grab that guy and move him over. Oh, that's what I do. So I select it over here, and it turns my cursor into a crosshair, which now is telling me where do you want to hang this. So let's say I want to put it on the 4th electric. I click, and it just hung a 19-degree source 4 on my 4th electric point, right? Let's say I want to hang a 36-degree. Nope. I want to hang a 36-degree down here on the first FOH, right? So I click that guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to tell it to hang a light first. So I have to go back over here and click hang a light, 36-degree. It gives me my crosshairs, and I can drop it on the first FOH. Great. I'm going to zoom in real quick so we can see that light that I just hung. He's hanging here on the first FOH. And notice he's not highlighted now, but if I click on him and you see those 4 little squares, that means he's highlighted. All right. If that light is highlighted, I can go up here to information and click on information, and it gives me information about that light. All right. If I click on position, or if I click on the light, he already knows he's on the first FOH. How did it know it was on the first FOH? Because remember, on my layers, I have lighting positions selectable. If this is not clicked, it's going to think that's just hanging in random airspace, right? So I want to go back and look at the information for that light. He is the first light on that unit, which, remember, that's a unit number. I want to give him a color. So he's going to be, let's say, one of my front cool lights. So I'm going to give him R62. R62 is a nice blue from Roscoe. So notice he just turned blue, right? If I want to see that color on my plot, I can click this little checkbox right here, boop. And then notice on my plot, it dropped R62 right in front of the light. I can give him a channel. I don't want to give him a channel number yet because I haven't made my magic sheet. I don't know what my channel numbers are yet, but I can give him his address. Remember, address is what dimmer and circuit he's plugged into. So in order to figure that out, I've got to figure out what circuits I have on the first FOH. I have 44 through 64. And remember, the lower numbers start on stage left and the higher numbers are over on stage right. So on this position, 44 is here, 64 is here. And because he's in the middle, I'm going to guess and say he's going to be patched into 54, right? So when I say 54, enter it. And I select it so I can see it. Boop. He dropped in the dimmer number right there for me, right? Now I know in my magic sheet that I know that I want all of my front light, my front cool light, to end in the number 1. Because remember, a channel is just a name that helps us sort these out. So this guy is going to be pointing at my area number 7. And because he's a cool front light, I'm going to give him the number 1. So he's going to be channel 71. So I can go over here and click in channel 71, enter, turn it on, and then there's my channel number right in the plot. So this is a fully hung light with all the information you need in a light plot. You can put more information in a light plot, but these are the basics. The symbol tells me the kind of light it is. The color and the gel number tells me the color that needs to go into it. The number with the hexagon on the bottom, 54, that hexagon tells me that that's the dimmer that it's patched into. And the circle, 71, tells me the channel number that it's going to be used in the board to turn on. I've given you guys a cheat sheet to make sure that information is correct. If you go into Moodle in your final paper project resources, there is a picture in there that says fixture notation. And it looks like this. This shows you what the lighting notation should look like on a plot. So we have the color number in front.
Oh, that's cool.
We have the symbol number. We have the unit number. We have the circuit and the channel. Now, in this case, it shows circuit and dimmer. But remember, our house is 1-to-1. So whenever you patch into circuit 13, it actually connects to dimmer 13. So in a 1-to-1 house, you don't have to have that dimmer number there, right? Because we know that circuit 154 goes to dimmer 154, right? So in this case, you don't need that. So this is all you need on your plot. You need the symbol of the kind of light that's hung there, the unit number of where it is on the lighting position, the color, the circuit of where it's patched in, and the channel number. Now this unit number will change. The cool thing about this program is as soon as I drop another light on this, if I drop it stage left, that light now becomes unit 1, and this one will change to unit 2, because now it knows that there's 2 lights on that bar, and it does it automatically for you, okay? The other thing that this has done is because I've plugged in this information over here, remember template also means gobo. If you drop a gobo in there, it will add the gobo information. I'm not adding a gobo to this one, so template can just stay blank. But if you want to drop a gobo in there, you can put your gobo information in as well. The great thing about this program too, I'm going to go back here to my full plot view. Once I've hung a few lights, and notice here now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Actually I have 6 because there's one back here, 6 lights, all hanging on my light plot layer. I can go up here to, what is it? It is view, report, create report, and I can select the kind of report I would like to choose. I'm going to choose an instrument schedule, and when I click OK, guess what? It's auto-generated for me. It knows every light that's hanging on those positions. It's already listed them by type, color, channel, all that stuff. So once you've actually done your light plot, and notice it's created a new tab over here, and to get back to my light plot, I just click on that tab. So everything that I've hung on my light plot layer, it has already created the instrument schedule for me automatically. How did it know what that information was? Because when I clicked on the light and the information tab, I added that information in here in the information tab. So it's just drawing from each one of those lights on the light plot and coordinating it into the instrument schedule. It will also create your channel hookup for you as well. So once all your lights are hung on the plot, all you have to do is go to report, create report, new. I want a new report. Okay. What kind of report? I'd like a channel summary. Click OK. And it has created my channel hookup for me, which in this case, it calls it a channel summary. There's my channel summary. There's my instrument schedule. And there's my light plot. So my instrument schedule, if I want to send that to Akins, I click on instrument schedule and click on export, export it as a PDF, and now it's on my computer as a PDF. We are at 10:45, so technically the class is over. If you would like to stay and keep asking questions, I will keep recording. I have plenty of time to hang out with you guys, so if you want to just keep jamming for a few minutes, we can. Also, I'm going to put a poll, actually, a pool. I wish I had a pool. That'd be great. I'm going to put a poll on Moodle. If you guys would like to meet next week, next Thursday during spring break, I'm all about it. We can do this again. If you guys will go and start playing with LXBeams and VLL on your own, we can meet again next Thursday. I know it's spring break. If you don't want to be there, I'm not going to count it against your attendance. But if you want to meet again next even Tuesday or Thursday and do another tutorial like this or Q&A discussion, we can do that as well. All right. So if you want to go, it's 10:48. You can go. You can be dismissed. You can take off if you want to. If you want to stick around and watch me do more and ask questions or whatever, we can. We're going to have to restart. Zoom again because we're about to run out.
I just have one question.
We got less than a minute.
Yeah. So the instrument schedule and the channel summary that you just pulled up, are we turning those in or are we creating our own Excel sheet?
Either way. I've
Oh,
left
cool.
So it can be auto-generated right here in LXBeams, but if you feel more comfortable with Excel spreadsheet, you can do it on Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
The difference is, in Excel, you're going to have to type it all in on yourself.
Yeah.
In this case, if you've learned how to use LXBeam correctly, it's
Yeah.
generating it for you.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Real quick, hold up your hand if you want to stick around and ask questions. Okay, well, I'm going to post these 2 videos, and I'm going to assume we're done for this week, and I'll see you soon.
All right. You have a good one.
Yeah, cheers.